Guys, welcome again. We have completed entry number 20. What we were doing, we were on our journal entries. It was question number 7, and step by step we have completed journalizing different transactions, and up till date 20 we have completed our transaction and converted into journal. All right, so let's get forward. 22 entries have been completed, and now we are doing entry number 23, its date. He draws a check for 10,000 for personal use. Draws a check. First of all, we will understand this step. Draws a check. Whenever you will draw a check, it means you will provide this check or you will transfer the possession of this check to someone else. You will issue this check to someone else and he will go to your bank, will present the same check and will withdraw amount from your bank account. Amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Decrease in bank account mean decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention name of bank on credit side because amount has been withdrawn. Now second part is very important in 23. Draws a check for personal use. As you know that whenever it's personal use by the proprietor, it is called drawings. Drawings means there is decrease in liability. Decrease in liability should be debited, so we are writing drawings on debit side. But I'm willing to let you understand why it is decrease in liability. Amount which is provided by the proprietor is called capital. It is our liability, and when proprietor is going to draw amount from the business, it means his capital has been decreased. Capital is liability. Liability has been decreased. Decrease in liability should be mentioned on debit side. That is why you have written drawings on debit side, because it's the amount which proprietor have withdrawn from the business, just opposite to your capital. It is entry number 23, so we will write the date over here, 23, and now we will proceed to, no, we will have to see the amount has not been written. So 23's amount is 10,000. You will mention 10,000 on debit side, and same amount you are going to write on credit side. So here you have completed 23rd entry, and now we will proceed to next of 23 is 24. First we will mention this date 24 over here, and now we will read the entry. He pays cash. He pays cash for the stationery. 24th entry is saying pays cash for the stationery. When you are paying your cash, it means your cash in hand is decreasing. Cash in hand is your asset. Asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention cash on credit side. Why you have paid this cash? That is for the stationery. Stationery is a sort of expense. Expenses should be debited, so you will mention stationery on debit side. Its second aspect is also present. If stationery is unused and you haven't started its use, until then stationery would be considered as near asset. Asset should be written on debit side. That is why you can write stationery on debit side. So entry number 24th amount is 1000. You will put 1000 over here, and same amount you are going to put over here. This way entry number 24 has been completed. Now let's see what is next entry. This is entry number 25, and it is saying he pays rent by check. What a beautiful entry to understand for the beginners. He pays rent by check. Since he is paying the amount through check, so whosoever is receiving our check will go to our bank account, will present that check, and will withdraw amount from our bank account. Amount present in bank account would be decreased. Bank account is your asset, means asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention name of bank on credit side because you have drawn a check. And now for what purpose you have drawn this check? That is rent. You have paid rent. Rent is an expense. Expense should be mentioned on debit side. Debit side is fixed for the expense side, or expenses will always be written on debit side, so you will write rent on debit side as an expense. This was entry number 25. Entry number 25 you will write over here, and now let's see how much rent has been paid. This is 3000, so you will write 3000 on debit side, and same amount you will post on credit side. All right, 25th entry has been completed, and what is next? It is 26. First you should write the date. What 26 entry is saying? He purchased, 26 entry, he pays for office salaries by check. Now there are two 26 entries. First 26 is saying he purchased goods for cash. Purchases goods for cash. This is our next entry. Entry number first 26. So we can name it 26A so that it may not be mixed. 26A is saying you purchase goods for cash. When you are buying your goods, it means goods are coming in, goods are your near asset, asset is increasing. You were supposed to write goods over here, but as you know, we don't write goods. In place of goods we write working. What working we are doing is purchase, so you are going to write purchase over here. Goods is unnecessary over here, it was just for a referral. I was giving you a reference that goods are coming in. You can erase it. You have purchased. Now see if you have paid the cash, but yes, you have paid the cash. He purchased goods for cash. Cash is going out, means cash in hand is decreasing. Cash in hand is your asset. Asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention name of cash on credit side. Let's see how much amount is for this transaction. It is 8000, so you will put 8000 over here. Same amount you are going to write on your credit side, which is 8000. Entry number 26A is completed. Now second 26 entry, we will see what it is. He pays office salaries by check. He pays office salaries by check. When some payment is being made through check, what will happen? The person to whom you have provided that check, he will present your check to your bank account, to your bank, and will withdraw amount from your bank account. In this way, amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Decrease in bank account means decrease in asset, which should be credited. That is why you will mention name of bank on credit side, because amount present in bank has been decreased. Okay, so this was 26B. We were supposed to write date first, but it usually misses. Okay, 26B is saying that you have issued a check. For what purpose? For office salaries. Office salaries, again, it's an expense. Expenses place is debit, so you will write salaries over here, or you can write office salaries as well. In this way, 26B journal has been completed. So you will see how much amount of salaries is, that is 16,000. All right, so you will mention 16,000 on your debit side, and same amount you will post on your credit side. This way 26B is completed. Let's see what is next, that is 27. So we will write 27 first, the date, and 27 is saying he gives a check. This is 27. He gives a check for office furniture. He gives a check for office furniture. That means you are buying your office furniture. If you are buying, it means office furniture is coming in. Office furniture is your asset. Asset is coming in, mean asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be debit, so you can mention name of furniture on debit side. Office furniture can also be written. And since in 27th entry you are buying this furniture through check, he gives a check. This is your 27th entry. In 27 entry you are giving a check. When you will give check to the person from whom you have purchased furniture, he will go to your bank account, will present that check, and will withdraw amount from your bank account. Thus amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Bank account is your asset. Asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so you will name your bank account on credit side. 27th entry, its amount is 15,000, so you will write 15,000 on debit side. and you will write same amount on your credit side as well. In this way, 27th entry has been completed. And what is next after 27 is 28. So you will mention 28 over here, the date. And what 28 is saying, he received from Umar and allowed discount for rupees 500. अच्छा, अब यहाँ पर he receives from Umar 17,000 and he is mentioning discount is also over there. When you are receiving, what will you receive? That would be cash. If you are receiving cash, means cash is increasing, cash in hand is increasing, which is your asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side, so you will mention cash on debit side. All right, from whom you are receiving this amount? From Umar. The person from whom you have received this amount is Umar. Umar was your account receivable. When you have received your amount, it means he is no more your account receivable. Account receivables are asset. When he is no more your account receivable, mean no more your asset. Asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be credited. So you will mention the name of your account receivable. I forgot the name. 28 Umar. So you will mention the name of Umar over here, which was actually your account receivable. Account receivables are asset and assets are usually be written on debit side, but you have received the amount from your account receivable, so he is no more your account receivable, no more your asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. That is why you have written account receivable on your credit side. But in entry number 28 we are in, he is saying discount is also involved over here. Allows him discount. Allow word is very important. When you are allowing discount, it means you are giving the discount. Discount, if you are giving, it means it's your burden, it's your expense. Expenses should be mentioned on debit side, so you will write discount on debit side. This way entry has been completed. Now the matter is related to the amount. When you are receiving from Umar 17,000, it means cash is 17,000. So you will mention 17,000 in front of cash. Discount allowed is also given, which is 500 rupees. In this way, there is no problem to put 500 in front of discount as it is mentioned in the question. So two amounts are completed. Amount of Umar has not been given in the question, but a very simple rule will be applied over here, as we know that debit side and credit side will always be equal. On debit side, there are two amounts. To equalize it, we will sum these amounts, 17,000 and 500. After summing up, we will write the answer on the credit side. In this way, both debit and credit side are equalized. In this way, entry number 28 has been completed. Let's see what is next after 28. It is 29. We will mention date first. 29. All right. Now let's see what 29 is saying. He pays into the bank the check for rupees 11,600 received from Manzoor. Okay, what had happened? You have received a check from Manzoor and that is directly deposited into the bank. Okay, before generalizing it, you will have to see whether Manzoor is present in any of the above entry or not. We have to assure the fact that the check has already been received or not. For that purpose, you will search if Manzoor is present in any of the transaction above. Here, I have seen the Manzoor. You have already received the check from Manzoor, 11,600. Entry number is 20. Now, let me show what 20 entry we have done. This was the entry, and you can see that check has already been mentioned and the person is same Manzoor. Check was received from Manzoor, and in 29th entry same check has been deposited. This check was received from Manzoor. What we will do? When we have received, it was considered as cash, and now same check has been gone to the bank. You are giving this check, or you are transferring the possession of this check from yourself to your bank. It means check is going out. Check was considered cash. So what you will do? You will say just like cash is going out, but actually it's not cash. it was a check and you had temporarily considered it as cash. Where that this check has gone into the bank, I should have mentioned it. This check is not necessary to be written over here. You can erase it. It's just a reference I have given. Where this check has gone into the bank, that means amount present in bank account would be increased. Increase in bank account means increase in asset. Increase in asset should be debited. So you will mention name of bank on debit side. Now amount would not be mentioned in 29th entry. Oh, it has been mentioned from Manzoor, but it was quite a common sense. If check was received from Manzoor, if check was received from Manzoor, amount of check is already under our knowledge. It is 11,600. So you can directly put the amount of rupees 11,600 in front of bank. Understand? Because you have already received a check from Manzoor and amount of check was already mentioned in 20th entry. Same amount was supposed to be written over here, but additionally this amount has also been mentioned in 29th entry. Same amount you will be posting on credit side as well. As you know that debit and credit side will always be equal. Okay, 29 entry is completed. Now let's see what is next entry. Next entry is 30. Let's see what 30 entry has brought for us. This is your 30th entry and what it is saying, he pays 12,800 check to Ali. He pays 12,800 by check to Ali and received what? And received discount. So matter is this, he receive 30th entry, he pays a check to Ali. पहले इसकी entry करेंगे and then discount is involved in it. 30th entry, he pays a check to Ali. Okay, when you are giving someone check, what does that mean? If you are providing a check to the person, obviously the person would be account payable and you have issued a check to him. He will go to your bank account, will present that check. By presentation he will withdraw amount from your bank account, means the amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Decrease in bank account means decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention name of bank on credit side because it's an asset and has been decreased. Now the whenever you will issue a check, you will always be issuing or drawing a check to account payable, through the person to whom amount was payable. That means he was your account payable. As you have paid, no matter it's through check or through cash, you have paid the amount to your account payable. It means after payment he is no more your account payable. No more account payable means no more your liability has been decreased. Decrease in liability should be mentioned on debit side, so you can name account payable on debit side. Now in 30th entry, let's see to whom check has been issued. To Ali. Ali was the person to whom you have issued your check. It means Ali was your account payable, so you may mention name of Ali over here. And why you are writing on debit side, Ali was your liability. You have paid amount through check, it means your liability has been decreased. One additional element is present in 30th entry and that is received a discount. Whenever you are receiving a discount from anyone, it means it is your income and 200 is discount. Income should be mentioned on credit side, so you will write discount. On credit side you may mention it is received. Amount mentioned in the book is 200, so you will mention 200 worth of discount. Now let's see how much value of check was. 30th entry, he pays 12,800 check. The amount of check was 12,800, so you will write in front of bank account because amount which is written on check will be withdrawn from the bank. Now amount of Ali has not been mentioned. Again we will use the simple rule of accounting over here. Whatever the amount is present on credit side, it would be equalizing the amount on debit side. So what we will do, we will add 12,800 first amount to the second amount which is 200. In this way total amount we have calculated, and that is what happened. One is okay. So total amount is 13,000. It means entry has been completed. Both debit and credit side we have completed as journal entry. 30th entry is completed. Let's see what is next, and that is 31. But there are two 31st entries. So what we can do is 31A. Let's see what is first 31 is saying. He receives he receive a check. Again, he is receiving the check from whom? Usman, for commission, and deposit the same into the bank. Now he is receiving the check, and at the same time he is depositing as well. Receiving a check and deposited into the bank. Please try to understand. He received a check from Usman and deposited the same check into the bank. Ultimately, what had happened? You have received check from Usman, but immediately you have deposited into the bank. It means amount present into the bank would be increased. Increase in bank account mean increase in asset. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you will mention name of bank on debit side. From whom you have received amount? The person is Usman. Let me show you. You have received a check from Usman. Okay, here is Usman. Usman was the person from whom amount was receivable. Now you have received, no matter it is in shape of cash or check, you have received the amount. He was your account receivable. Since you have received amount from him, so he is no more your account receivable, no more your asset. Asset has been decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention name of Usman on credit side. In this way, almost entry has been completed, but there is something else also mentioned. And deposited the same into the bank. Okay, nothing. Entry has been completed, so we may write over here. I was expecting that discount is also present, but not discount is not present over there. Entry has been completed. Okay, at this point we will see how much amount of check was 31st A, and that was 20,000. So you will mention 20,000 on debit side of this transaction, and same amount you will post on credit side or IG. 31st A has been completed. Now let's see what 31B is saying. 31B is saying like he receives a check for rupees 13,000 from Cream, just receiving. Now it's important for you, whenever you will receive check and that check has not been deposited into the bank, common sense would let you know that bank should not be mentioned. Though you will say check directly or indirectly is associated with the bank, but keep it in mind, if check is not deposited into the bank, you will not mention the name of bank in your transaction. For the time being, what you will do, you are receiving your check. Check is your near asset. Asset is increased. You were supposed to write check over here. But in accounting, check, we do not write check. In place of check, we temporarily consider it as our cash, and check is just written for the referral. You may not write the name of check over here. In this way, on debit side you will write cash. Actually it's a check, but since it has not been deposited into the bank, so temporarily you will consider it as your cash. And how you have received this check? From Kareem. The person from whom you have received this check is Kareem. Kareem was your account receivable. Since you have received from Kareem, no matter it is cash or in shape of check, but you have received check from Kareem. So Kareem is now no more your account receivable, no more your asset. Asset has been decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. That is why you have named Kareem on credit side. Let's see what was the amount of 31st second entry. It was 13,000. So you will write 13,000 on debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. In this way, last entry is also been completed. This way, all journal entries, look what we have done. We have started from here step by step, and we were generalizing all the transaction, and in this way all journal entries have been completed. Look, you may say that question is very long, but the people who wants to have knowledge, who wants to develop their skill, they will never bother how lengthy this question is if they want to get the knowledge. And alhamdulillah, I'm just enjoying, even in spite of this much length, my enjoyment with this lecture, my enjoyment with this question, believe me, it's up to the mark. All right, now there is second step. First step has been completed. We were required to complete all journal entries, and we have completed. Now what next step is? We will post, what word I am using, we will post these journal entries into the cash book. In cash book we have debit side and credit side. On debit side we have three columns: discount, cash and bank. On credit side we have again discount, cash and bank. Rule is very simple. If you will see cash, bank and discount in these journal entries, what you will do, you will pick these three elements. If they are debit, you will post on debit side. If these three elements, discount, cash and bank, are present on credit side of the journal, here, if these three elements are present on credit side, so you will post on credit side. Why I was saying rule is very simple. It's just a simple word. If cash and bank or discount is on debit side, do debit. So we have made a rule: debit do debit and credit do credit. Okay guys, let's start it. We have first entry, and in first entry there are two elements, but we are associated with only one element, that is cash. What I had expressed you, what I have informed you is there are three elements: cash, bank and discount. If these three elements are present in the journal entries, you will pick. Otherwise, whatever is present in journal entry which is not cash, which is not bank, which is not discount, you will skip. Like capital, skip it up. Wasim, skip it. Asan, skip it. Khalid, skip. It means you will seek only three elements: discount, cash and bank. In first entry there are two elements, but only one element is associated with cash book, and that is cash, which is being debited. With 4 lakh rupees, you will go to the debit side of the cash book and will write 4 lakh. Now you will seek the reference. Reference is whatever is written on the opposite side. Opposite side is capital, so you will write 2 capital as your reference. What I had said, whatever is written on the opposite side would be written on particulars, at particulars. And what is the date? You will mention date over here as 1. In this way, first entry has been completed. If entry is completed, you will mark it as completed. We are just using a color which will show us that entry has been completed. Why I am doing so? Because there are two chances. Any entry can be skipped when you have these many entries. Now look at this. There are so many journal entries over here. Any entry can be skipped. If you will mark, it means entry has already been done and it has not been skipped. And second matter is, when you have these many entries, entry can be repeated twice or thrice. So when you will mention that this entry has been completed, our attention will not go to the previous entry which we have marked. So it will not be skipped or it will not be repeated if you will mark. Kindly do it in your exam as well. One entry has been completed. Now we will go for second entry where there are two elements, and now both elements are associated with cash book because cash at bank is present. So step by step, first step we will see bank is debited with 3 lakh rupees. You will go to the debit side of the bank and will write 3 lakh over here. Second step is to see the reference. Opposite side we have 2 cash, so you will write 2 cash in particulars. Now see the date, which is 2, you will mention 2. Since there are two elements in this entry, bank has already been written. Second step is to write cash. Cash is credited with 3 lakh rupees. You will go to the credit side of cash book And cash column, there you will write 3 lakh, and you will see the reference. Reference is opposite side. At opposite side bank is written, so you will write bank with an additional word of buy. Whatever you will write on credit side, whatever you will write on particulars at credit side, you will use buy, the word buy. Now you will mention the date. Date is 2, so you will write date over here as 2. Since this entry was having two elements, bank and cash, so what you have done, you have debited bank with 3 lakh rupees and you have credited cash with 3 lakh rupees. Entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 3. There are two elements, but we are associated with only one element, and that is bank. Bank is being credited, so we will go to the credit side. 10,000. We will go to the credit side of the bank and we will write 10,000 rupees. Now we will see the reference. At opposite side, Wasim is being written, so you will write Wasim over here. And what was the date? 3, so you will mention 3 over here. Since this entry was having only one element, you can see there was only one element. Entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 4. There are two elements, bank and SN, but only one element we are associated with, and that is bank. Bank is debited 20,000. You will go to the debit side of the bank and will write 20,000 on debit side of bank column. After 20,000, you will see the reference of this entry. At opposite side, SN is written, so you will mention SN at particulars. Now you will see the date, which is 4, so you will mention date 4 over here. 4 entry was having only one element, which we have already posted. It means 4 is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 5. There are two things, two elements, cash and Khalid, but we are associated and related with only cash. Cash is debited 12,000. You will go to the debit side of the cash book and will write 12,000 in cash column. Now see the reference, which is to Khalid, so you will write to Khalid in particular column. See the date, which is 5, so you will mention date 5 over here. 5 entry was having only one element, which was cash, and we have already posted. It means entry has been completed. Mark it as it is done. Next entry is 7. There are two elements in 7th entry, bank and cash, and both are associated with cash book, so we will post them step by step. First step, we can see that bank is debited 12,000. We will go to the debit side of the bank and we'll write 12,000. Now we will see the reference of this entry, which is cash. Whatever is written on the opposite side of transaction would be the reference, and you are needed to write it in particular column. Now see the date, which is 7, so put 7 in date column. In 7th entry, there were two columns, and we have posted one element, which was bank, and second element is cash. Cash is credited 12,000. You will go to the credit side of the cash and will write 12,000. Okay, and now you will see how much what reference is being used for this entry, and that is bank. So you will write by bank in particulars. Now see the date, which is 7. So you will write date over here, that was 7. In this way, 7 entry was having two elements. Bank was debit 12,000, bank debit 12,000, and cash credit 12,000. Both entries have been posted and transaction has been completed. So what you will do, you will mark it as it has been done. 8th entry. 8th entry has 3 elements, but we are associated with only 2 elements, which is cash and discount. So step by step we will do it. First step is to see cash, which is credited 19,000, which is debited 19,400. So you will go to the debit side and will write the amount, which is 19,400. All right. And now you will see the reference of this entry, which is Tanveer. Tanveer is written on opposite side. So this would be used as your reference. Now see the date, which is 8. Mention date as 8. What is second element in this entry? That is discount, and we know it is being debited. We will go to the debit side and we'll write. Now there are two options. You can write over here in the next line and repeat Tanveer and date. Since reference and date is same, so you may write 600 discount in the same line. Why? Because its reference of 600, reference of 19,400 same. Date of 600, date of 19,400 same. So you can use the same line. Eighth entry was having two element, cash and discount. Both are posted in the ledger. It means 8 entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. 13th entry, now we are related with, there are 3 elements but only 2 elements we are related with, cash and discount. So step by step we will post. Cash is debited by 36,000. So you will go to the debit side of the cash, will write 36,000 over here. See the reference, that is Zahir. Opposite side Zahir is being written, so you will mention Zahir in particular column. And what is date? That is 13, so you will put 13 as its date. In 30th entry there were 2 elements. One element has been posted, second element is discount. Discount is being debited by 1000, so you will put debit side of the discount. There are 2 options. You can write discount over here and write Zahir and date again. Instead of this you can put 1000 on the same line, because reference of 1000 and 36,000 both are same, both are part of single entry. Date was same, so you may write both cash and discount in the same line. Since there were 2 elements, cash and discount, both had been posted, it means 13th entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 18th. There are 2 elements in 18th entry and both are associated with cash book. So step by step we will go, as we are seeking only 3 elements, cash, discount and bank. So there are 2 elements over here, bank and cash, both are related with cash book. First step is to post bank. Bank is debited 40,000. We will go to the debit side of the bank. We will write 40,000 over here, and now we will see the reference of this 40,000, which is to cash. So you will write to cash over here. What is the date? That is 18, so you will mention 18 over here. So you have debited the bank, it means first step has been completed. Second step is to see cash. Cash is credited with 40,000. Okay, we will go to the credit side of the cash and we will write 40,000 over here. What was the reference for cash? And that is bank. Opposite side bank is written, so you will write by bank over here. And what was the date? It was 18, so you will mention date 18 here. 18 date was having 2 entries. Bank was debit, cash was credit, and both entry has been posted. Step by step, it means entry number 18 has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. 19th entry, there are 2 elements, purchase and cash, but only one element is associated with cash book, that is cash. Credit 6,000. We will go to the credit side of the cash book and we'll write 6,000 on credit column of the cash book. Now see the date. Okay, we have 19 date and reference is purchase. Reference we will write by purchase and the date is 19, so you will put 19 over here. 19th entry was having 2 elements but only one element was associated. We have posted, which means 19th entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 20. We have 3 elements but only 2 elements are associated with the cash book, which is cash and discount. So step by step we will post. First step is to post cash, which is debited 11,600. Go to the debit side of the cash book and write 11,600 in cash column. And now you will see the reference, which is Manzoor, written on the opposite side. So you will write Manzoor as reference with additional word of 2. And now see the date, which is 20. Put 20 over here. In 20th entry, there were two elements. Cash has been posted, and second element is discount. Discount is debited 400. You will go to the debit side of the same line and will put amount, which is 400. You may write this 400 over here, but for that you will have to repeat 2 Manzoor over here and 20 over here. Instead of it, you can write in the same line as reference for both amount. 400 and 11,600 is same, which is Manzoor. Date is same, which is 20. So it means 20 is completed. Both cash and discount has been posted. If it is completed, mark it as it has been done. And now entry number 23. There are two elements, but only one element which we are related with, that is bank. Bank is credited by 10,000. So you will go to the credit side of the bank and will write the amount, which is 10,000. Right over here 10,000, and now see its reference, which is drawings. So write down here by drawings, and now see the date, which is 23. Put 23 over here. So this way entry number 23 is completed. Mark it as it has been done. What you have done, you have created bank account with 23,000. 1 second. 23rd entry was having 10,000. So you have credited bank account with 10,000. Entry number 23 is completed. Next entry is 24. There are two elements, but we are related with only one element, which is cash. Cash is being credited by 1,000. You will go to the credit side of the cash and will write 1,000 over here. Alright. And now see its reference. Reference is stationery, which is written on the opposite side. So you will write by stationery over here. Now let's see what was the date, which is 24. Mention 24 over here. 24th entry was having only one element, which is cash, and cash has been posted. It means 24 is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 25, where there are two elements, rent and bank, but we are related with only one aspect, which is bank. Bank is credited by 3,000. Go to the credit side of the bank and write 3,000 over here. Now see the reference, which is rent. Rent is written on the opposite side, so write by rent over here. Now see the date of this entry, which is 25. Write down 25 over here. In this way, 25th entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 26A. There are two elements, but we are related with only one element, which is cash. Cash is credited with 8,000. Go to the credit side and write down 8,000 on credit column. Now see its reference, which is purchase. Purchase is written on the opposite side, so you will write name of purchase over here. And now see the date, which is 26A. So put 26A in date column. 26A was having only one element, which is posted. It means 26A is completed. Mark it as it has been done. And now we are at 26B. There are two elements, but we are associated with only one element. Bank is credited with 16,000. Go to the credit side of the bank and write 16,000 on credit column of bank account. See the reference, which is salaries. Salaries is written on opposite side, so you will write over here by salaries. See the date of salaries, which is 26B. So you will write 26B over here. 26B was having only one element, which has been posted. It means 26B is completed. mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 27. There are two elements, but only one element we are associated with is bank. Bank is credited with 15,000. So you will go to the credit side of the bank, will write 15,000 in credit column. Okay, seek the reference of this 15,000, which is furniture. Furniture is written on the opposite side. So you will write furniture as reference in particulars. See the date, which is 27. So you will write 27 over here. Okay. 27 was having only one element which has been posted. So 27 is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 28, where there are three elements, but only two elements we are associated with. First is cash. Cash is debited with 17,000. Go to the debit side of the cash and write 17,000 over here. Now see the reference of this entry, which is Umar. Umar is written on the opposite side of the cash, which is reference. Write down Umar over here. In particular column, see the date, which is 28. Write down 28 on the date column. In this way, half entry has been completed, which is 28. There were two columns. There were two elements. Cash has been posted. Discount is still to be posted. Discount is debited 500. Go to the debit side of the discount and put 500 over here. 116, 28th entry. Okay. Same reference. So you may write discount over here in 28th entry, which is 500. So write down 500 on in the same line. And the reason we have discussed it, reference of 500 and 17,000 is same, which is Umar. Date is same, so you may write 500 in the same line. 28th entry was having two elements, both are posted, means 28 is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Okay ji, next entry is 29. There are two elements, bank and cash, and both are associated with cash book. But we will do step by step. First step is to write bank, which is debited. Go to the debit side of the bank and write 11,600 over here. Now 600 it was. Now see the reference of this entry, which is bank. Write down. So bank was debited. Reference is to cash, which is written on the opposite side. To cash, and now see the date of this entry, which is 29. Write down 29 in date column. In this way, half entry of 29 has been completed. There were two elements. Bank is posted on the debit side. Now cash would be posted on credit side. 11,600. Cash 11,600 would be written on cash column of the credit side. 11,600's reference, which is bank. So you will write buy bank over here. Buy bank. And now see the date, which is 29. So put your date 29 over here. 29 was having two entries. You have credited your cash and debited your bank. Both aspects have been posted in the ledgers, bank and cash. It means 29 entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now we are at 30th entry. There are three elements, but we are associated with two elements, bank and discount. So step by step we will go. We will take bank first. Bank is credited with 12,800. Go to the credit side of the bank and write down the amount, which is 12,800. So you will write 12,800 on credit side of the bank column. Now see the reference, which is Ali. Ali is written on the opposite side, so you will mention name of Ali in particular column. Now it's time to see the date, which is 30. So put date 30 over here. In 30, there were two elements, bank and discount. Second element is discount, which is credited by 200, but date and reference is same. So you will go and we'll write 200 in the same line as I have mentioned. Reference of 200 and 12,800 is same, which is Ali. Date is same, which is 30. So you will write in the same line. In 30, bank and discount both have been posted, means 30 is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now second last entry is 31A, where there are two elements but only one element is associated with cash book, which is bank. 20,000 is debited, so you will go to the bank account, will write 20,000 on debit side of bank column. Now you will see its reference. Opposite side Usman is written, so Usman would be considered as reference. You will write in particulars. See its date, that is 31A. So you will mention 31A over here. 31A was having only one element, that is posted. It means 31A is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Last entry we are having 31B, where there are two elements but only one element is associated with cash book, which is cash 13,000 debit. So you will go to the debit side of the cash book and will write 13,000 over here. And now 13,000's reference is Kareem, which is written on the opposite side. So you will write Kareem over here. Now see the date, which is 31B. So you will write 31B over here. This way entry has been completed. So all the journal entries are posted. These many journal entries were present in your question, and step by step you have posted all the journal entries in the cash book. Now it's time for the balance. Let's start it. Alright guys, all entries have been posted into the cash book, and there is very interesting thing to be shared with you. See the question. After 20 there were entry number 21, 20, again 20, 21 and 22. These were three entries from 20 to 22, 20 to 22, and perhaps due to any reason, maybe it was in part A or part D, when we have come back in part B, these entries were skipped. Neither 20th entry, 21st entry and 22nd entry, all these entries have been skipped, so we will do it. Let's see after 20 what it is. We have two transaction related to 20th entry. 20A has been completed, so you will mention first entry as A. It has been done. But second time when 20th entry has come, that was skipped. You will write it as 20B. Go for 20B. What second 20th entry is saying? He received a check of rupees 10,000 for sales. He received a check. Just check is being received. So check is your near asset. You were supposed to write check over here, but you know in accounting we do not write check in journal entries. Instead of check, we will mention this check as cash, but this cash is being used temporarily as this check has not been deposited into the bank. So check is just a reference. You may write or you may skip it as well. Actually you have received the check. Why we are writing cash? Because check is not being deposited into the banks. For the time being we have used the word cash temporarily in place of check. From whom you have received this check? Second entry, for sales. You have received the check for sale. Sale means your goods are going out. You are selling goods. You were supposed to write goods on credit side. Add goods are your asset. Asset is being decreased. But you know, in accounting we do not write goods, we write working instead. What working we are doing? That is sales. So you will write sales on credit side. Goods is just a reference. You may erase it or you may let it to be written over here, but we are just skipping it. So entry is cash to sales. And cash, what I have said, it is actually the check. 20th entry has been completed. 20B's amount, let's check it out. That is 10,000. So you will mention 10,000 on debit side, and same amount you will post on credit side, which is 10,000. All right. 20B entry has been completed. Now let's see what next entry is. This is 21. And what 21 is saying, he deposits 6,000. He deposits 6,000 into the bank. What does that mean? You have deposited amount. No, first we will mention the date 20B and now 21 entry. So 21st entry is saying you have deposited amount into your bank account. When you will deposit your amount in your bank, it means your asset is increasing as your bank account is asset which is increasing. Increase in asset should be debited. So you are writing bank name on debit side. And how you have deposited this amount? Entry number is 21 and just cash has been deposited. So you have paid your amount, you have given your amount to your bank account, means cash is going out, your cash in hand is decreasing. Decrease in cash in hand means decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be credited, so you will name cash on your credit side. 21st entry has the amount 6,000, so you will post 6,000 on debit side, and at the same time you will write same amount on credit side. 21st entry has been completed. Now let's see what is after 21st. That is 22. 22 is saying he draws a check for office use. He draws a check for office use. When you will draw your check after 21, entry was 22. When you will draw a check, what will happen? To whom you will provide this check? He will go to your bank account, will present it, will withdraw amount from your bank, and ultimately amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Bank is your asset, mean asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be credited. So you will mention name of bank on credit side as check has been drawn. In 22nd entry, you have drawn a check for what? For office use. When you will draw the check for office use, you will receive amount from the bank. Amount received means cash in hand is increasing. Cash in hand is your asset. Asset is increasing, so you will mention name of cash. On debit side, 22nd entry's amount was 10,000. So you will mention 10,000 over here, and same amount you are required to write on credit side. This way those missing entries we have completed, and now it's time to post these journal entries into our ledger. Alright guys, I have just created the space for the missing entries. After 20 you will be doing 20B. So first we will be changing the date of previous transaction, that is now 20A, and what we will do for 20B. In 20B there are two elements, cash and sales, but we are associated with only one element, which is cash. Cash is debited 10,000. So you will go to the debit side and will write 10,000 on debit column of cash book. And now you will see its reference is sales, so you will mention sales in particular column. Now see its date, which is 20B, so you will write here 20B entry. Since 20B entry was having only one element, it has been completed, so mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 21, where there are two elements and both elements are associated with the cash book. First element is bank, which is debited 6,000. Go to the debit side of the bank and write 6,000 over here. Seek the reference. Bank is debited. Why? Opposite side cash is written, so you will mention cash in particulars. Now see its date. So we have date 21st, write down 21 over here. In 21st entry we were having two elements. Bank has been posted on debit side, so cash is credit. With 6,000 you will go over here. 6,000 would be credited in cash column. Now see its reference bank, opposite side bank is written, so you will mention by bank over here. Date was 21, so you will mention date over here 21. Okay, in 21st entry, there were two elements. Both elements have been posted into the ledgers in the cash book. It means 21st entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 22, where there are two elements and both elements are associated with the cash book, where first step is to put cash, which is debited 10,000. Go to the debit side of the cash book and write down 10,000 over here. And now see its reference. Reference is to bank, so you will write to bank, which is written on the opposite side of the cash. Now see its date, which is 22. Put 22 over here. In this way, half entry has been posted. We have debited cash and you can see 10,000. You can see after 21st entry, cash is debited by 10,000. We will go to the debit side of the cash. Actually 22nd entry was written over here, and so I have put according to date pattern. It is not needed over here. 22nd entry, what first step we have done in 22nd entry? Cash was debit, so you have debited 10,000 in cash column of the cash book. Date has been mentioned 22, so cash is completed. Second element is bank, which is also associated with the cash book. Bank is credited with 10,000. You will go to the credit side of the bank and will post amount over here, which is 10,000. Write down 10,000 over here. Now you will see the reference of this entry, which is cash. Cash is written on the opposite side, so you will mention the reference by cash with an additional word of by. Date is 22, so you will put 22 over here. In this way, all our journal entries have been completed. Alright guys, what we have done, we were having these many journal entries. First we have completed them, and secondly I'm proud to mention it, it's not the matter of shame. There were two entries or three entries were skipped, and what we have done, we immediately found out what were those entries which were missed, and we have completed them on first hand. And secondly, we have reposted these journal entries in our cash book. So all journal entries have been posted in the cash book, including the missing entries. Now next step is very interesting. We will be calculating the amount of balance. How balance would be calculated? It's very simple. Step number one, just sum all the items present on debit side of the cash book. So what you will do, you will sum up amounts present on debit side of the cash book. On calculator you will write each and every amount on debit side, but for me it's little easy. I will ask Excel to sum all the amount. This is sum of debit side of the cash book. In the same manner, you will add sum of all amounts present on credit side of the cash book. Here is credit side, and you will start adding all the items present on credit side of the cash book. This way Excel will help you to have sum. This is sum of the credit side, and this is sum of debit side of the cash book of cash columns. Next step is to compare total of these two sides. This is debit side of the cash book 529. This is credit side of the cash book, which is 384. Next step is to seek larger amount. So larger amount is 529, and post this larger total on both sides. Debit side 529,000, and credit side you will post the same amount, which is 529,000. Now there will be an objection. You will say the total of credit side is this, we have summed all the amounts and total of this credit side was this. How we have written total 529, which is wrong. This is the method of balancing, and how you will balance it, how you will equalize with 529. Third step is just write down the missing amount. How you will calculate the missing amount? You will subtract smaller amount from the larger amount. This is larger amount 529. You will subtract smaller amount from it, and here you have the missing amount. When you will write this missing amount and you will add now all items including this missing amount, the answer would be 529,000. This is the method of doing balance. Write down here it is balance, so you will mention with an additional word of by balance over here. How you have calculated balance? Sum of debit side, sum of credit side, larger amount on both sides, and the difference of larger and smaller amount you will write on the smaller side, and here you will get the balance. If you want to understand once more, I will repeat this method for the bank. First step is what? Sum of all amounts present on debit side of the bank. Here we have all amounts, we have summed up them and we have got the answer. This is sum of debit side. Same you will repeat for sum of credit side of the bank. So here we have all the amounts present on credit side of the bank and we have got the total amount. Second step, first step is what? Total of both sides. Total of both side, debit side is 409, credit side is 76,800, which is sum of all the amounts present on credit side. Second step is to see which amount is larger amount. Now you have debit side 409 and credit side just 76. So larger amount is 409. Put larger amount on total of both side. Debit side you have written 409,600 and same amount you will write on total of credit side, which is 409,600. Now there will be an objection. You will say the sum or total of credit side was 76,800. How you have written 409,600 is the method of balancing. What you have done, you have summed up both sides and larger total you have written on total of both sides. Next step is to get the balance, and how you will get the balance? You will subtract smaller amount from the larger amount. This is your larger amount. You will subtract smaller amount from it and hence you will get the balance. These are the answers of this cash book. Now answers are given in the book. Let's check it out. First answer is for cash book balance. Let's see what balance is given in the book, and you have seen the balance of cash is 1,44,800 and what we have got 144,400 and same amount is present 144,400 over here. All right, it means our cash balance is correct. Second balance is bank balance. Let's check it out. What is bank balance answer? And you have seen, I'm little happy to see this 332,800 and we have got 332,800. The test of this question was the stamina and a comfort zone which we have created to solve this question. You can see that it was the lengthiest question. There were several journal entries we have completed, and these journal entries step by step have been posted in this cash book. I mean, there were dozens of journal entries and dozens of these journal entries have been posted in the cash book, and ultimately we have got the answer. Just one chance in our very first step, and thankfully no amount was posted on the wrong side, no zero was missed, and we have got the answer. And last step of this solution is to see or to evaluate the question. Whenever you will do this question in your exam, Just take 15 to 20 seconds and review your question if there is anything missing. We have already seen all the journal entries have been completed. Okay, yes, all journal entries have been posted and we have turned them green and no entry has been skipped. All journal entries have been posted into the ledger on debit and credit side, with which we have got the answer and answers are matched. This is end of solution of question number 7. Hopefully you have enjoyed as I have enjoyed while solving this question, alhamdulillah, thankfully. And we have completed question number 7. Hopefully we will meet for the solution of any of the other question in future. Until then, please take care of yourself and I am requesting you to please pray for me as well. We will meet again. Up till then, thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.